right, testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Let's try that again. Testing, testing. Alright everyone, welcome back to another stream. Yet another Ys 3 stream. I think this is our 4th one. There's gonna be a 5th one as well. And don't mind this being cropped. Let's actually turn this down for a little bit because there's voice acting. But yeah, we are gonna be playing some more Ys 3. This time the PC Engine CD version. I ran through this on Twitch about 2 days ago, and honestly, this was the most fun I've had with this game pretty much ever. This version has some major problems. It's got some really bad screen scrolling, especially the backgrounds, but the thing about this game is the combat feels so much better than all the other versions I've played, and that just made it a whole lot more enjoyable. Also, I found that you could level up a little bit quicker. Enemies didn't take as many hits to kill, so like the game just flows a lot nicer than the Famicom, Mega Drive, or Super Nintendo versions. So yeah, we're gonna go through this game. By the way, this is my working Turbo Duo. It's finally back, or PC Engine Duo specifically. It had some major disk read problems, but now it's back from repair. It's working 100% when it comes to reading original discs. And it's RGB modded now, so it is, you know, whenever we do TurboGrafx stuff from here on out, it's going to be RGB, so hopefully the picture looks nice and crisp for you. I apologize that some of the screen is cropped right now. It's because I cropped the main gameplay image. So some of the cutscenes like this are going to be cropped, but, you know, who really cares? You're going to be staring at the gameplay for 98% of this. But yeah, welcome to a early morning stream. So there's a slight change of plans this week. I'm not going to be doing a stream Thursday night, which is why I'm here right now. I have a pinball event to do on Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, and that's going to require me to flip my sleep schedule. And so, you know, I can't really flip my schedule like the day before. I need to give it a few days, and I can't do it while I'm working. And, you know, I get off work Thursday morning. Thursday morning is my last day of the work week this week. And for those of you guys that don't know, I work overnight. So if something's needed of me during the middle of the day, I have to flip my sleep schedule. You know, it's really tough. So basically what the plan is for me to come home from work Thursday morning, stay up all day, or attempt to, and then pass out, you know, at like a normal person's time, and then hopefully try to, you know, keep that cycle going for the next few days until Sunday when I need to do my event. So the Doom stream I did on Saturday night, normally I post those Saturday archives today on Tuesday mornings. But what I'm going to do is push that to Thursday, and so that archive will actually be made public on Thursday. And in place of the Tuesday archive publishing, I'm going to just stream. So we're going to run through Ys 3. So basically no Thursday stream this week. My archive from Saturday will be posted Thursday to give you something to watch if you want. And then for Tuesday, we're just going to stream. So here we are. This is easier on me than trying to, you know, to do something Thursday. I don't want to have to worry about anything Thursday. All I want to worry about Thursday is staying up all day and hopefully surviving it. So, but yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in so far. I don't expect a whole lot of people because it's early in the morning, but we might be able to hit some of those folks overseas that normally can't catch me on Thursday or Saturday nights. So, but yeah, big shout out to Jose, Hexagon, Zeno, and Amadeus. Oh, and Chris Hendricks. What's going on? So, but yeah, this, I'm actually, you know, funny enough, I'm actually looking forward to playing through this again because, like, I really, really enjoyed the experience. I didn't really enjoy the other ones I played. Like, I liked them, but, you know, but this one, I was, like, glued to it the other night, man. I actually didn't really want to stop playing it. I kind of wish the game was longer. So, we're going to go ahead and do it again. So, we are playing the Japanese version here, so, you know, all the text is going to be in Japanese, well, except for this introduction text right here. It's interesting how this is in English, but pretty much all the rest of the text for conversations and whatnot is in Japanese. Your menus, though, like your equip screen and stat screen and stuff like that, all that's in English still, which is nice. So, Ys 3 is a very simplistic game. If you haven't seen me play the other three versions, or three of the other versions recently, you'll probably be surprised to know how, like, simple this game is and how easy it is to figure out even when it's in Japanese. If you want to play this on an actual PC Engine CD or Turbo CD or something like that, you're probably going to want to buy the Japanese copy because it's really affordable. And then you're probably going to want to have a walkthrough up just to tell you what, you know, the inventory screens do. Not the inventory, but like the shop screens do. They're really simple. And once you figure those out, that's pretty much it. It's a very simple game. It's fairly linear. It's, you know, nothing too crazy. The North American version of this is just stupid expensive now. So if you're going to play this specific version, the Japanese version is the way to go. I paid, like, I think $12 shipped for this copy. You know, it's complete in box and it's in good shape. So, you know, that is the way to do it. Zeno asks, do I know Japanese? I do not. Not at all. Not a bit. My brother knows a tiny bit. He was taking Japanese classes for a couple years, so he can definitely read some stuff, but me, no, not at all. If you know this game from another platform, everything is pretty much the same. So if you know the menus from the Genesis version or the Super Nintendo or the Famicom version, it's the same. So the shop items are in the same spot, you know, and you can tell which ones you're buying based on the cost, you know, how much they cost. So so it's really easy to get through this even if you don't know Japanese, assuming you're familiar with the game. If you're not familiar with the game and you play the Japanese version, then just grab a walkthrough that, you know, translates the menus and stuff like that. The rest of the game is really easy to figure out. It's not rocket science. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and do our Patreon shoutouts and whatnot. So as usual, we're gonna thank our recent Patreon backers. Just a quick heads up to Patreon backers. There were a couple that were declined at the first of the month, and they were declined for a few days, and so your names probably won't be on the next couple of Let's Plays that I pre-recorded, but so I apologize for that. When I get declines like that and they sit for a little while, I'm just like, well, I guess they don't, I don't know, what do I do here? So yeah, I apologize for that, but I got your names back on the slides. I think you guys probably know who you are, and but thank you for your continued support. Thanks for getting us squared away, and thanks to everyone else that is you know, still supporting the channel through that, and likewise with the recent live stream super chatters and the channel members. So thank you guys for your continued direct patronage to my channel as well. It kind of keeps me going here, so thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. So, alright, jumping into it, we're just going to go to the beginning, and there is a, I want to say somewhat lengthy intro. It's not too bad, actually. This is a standard Turbo CD game, or a PC Engine CD game, so it's not taking advantage of all the extra memory you get from, you know, a Turbo Duo or something like that. So, this is a fairly early-ish CD game, too. Well, I guess sort of early-ish. I don't know, 91, I guess it's not that early. Because the CD came out in, God, in North America. I mean, the CD launched basically the exact same year as the actual TurboGrafx. And in Japan, it, you know, probably hit earlier. But yeah. Hey, Jay Charms and Bossum Perv. How's it going, guys? Welcome, welcome. This intro has a very Japanese anime kind of vibe to it, with the music and whatnot. The soundtrack in this game is really interesting too. If you're familiar with the soundtrack to the other versions, it is it's interesting. Some tracks are just very like hard rock-ish. Others have this kind of like poppy synth kind of sound to it. It's really interesting. And then at specific points in the game, they use just the turbo or the PC Engine's just, you know, internal sound chip, which is kind of like jarring in a way. And one of my biggest disappointments with this game, aside from the choppy scrolling, is the fact that the main town theme is just using the TurboGrafx base sound hardware. It's not using Redbook audio, which is a huge missed opportunity in my opinion. Like when you hear the town theme in the Oath and Felghana remake, it just sounds awesome. And I really wish there was something like that in this one. So that's one of the biggest disappointments for me in this version. But that and you know, the choppy scrolling aside, it's just a lot of fun to play. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this one so much when I came to it. I was like, okay, this is gonna be the worst version because the graphics are crappy. But man, no, it actually ended up being the most fun of them, which was really odd. But come to think of it, of the home console conversions back in the day, I want to say that like this might have been the first one. I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure the Mega Drive one came out after this, and the Super Famicom version came out probably after this as well. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that just to clarify. There are subtle differences with each one, Jose. The core progression of the game is pretty much the same. The text will be a little bit different, although I can't really tell what the text is here in the Japanese version. In the North American versions, though, the translations are different. The Super Nintendo version, I think, has the best translation of the few that I've played. I haven't played this one in English on PC Engine in several years. It's been a while, so I don't remember how the translation went. Supposedly the North American voice acting was pretty bad in this, but again, it's been years since I've played it, so I haven't heard it. But yeah, this is very common throughout the course of the game, and a lot of the main cutscenes, or not really cutscenes, but the main points of dialogue, it's spoken, which is kind of interesting. So. Now, the downside to this, if you're used to the other versions that are just strictly text-driven, you can't really skip through this stuff, unfortunately. So you're just stuck listening to it. And that's another downside. You know, it's nice that it is voice acted, but, you know, the fact that you can't, you know, skip it means that, you know, you know, certain parts take a little bit longer to get through as a result. But it's not really a big deal. Alright, so just like in other versions, we're going to grab some stuff. I want to grab my armor and whatnot first. So let's go ahead and do that. So 400, that should be our first sword. This one should be armor. So 300 for the first one there. And then the bottom one I think is... Whoops. And the bottom one here is shield, I believe. So now we've got all three. And you basically just hit select to bring this up. And just like in other versions, you just hit over to the right to equip them. And then you press the 1 button to exit. Now you can also save in this game. What we found out the other day is actually really interesting. Each save file here uses up its own slot in the Turbo Duo's internal memory. So each slot here is a set of blocks. I don't know how much space, internal space, the Turbo Duo has. But each one takes up its own block of space, which is interesting. You've got to watch out for that too, though, because if you're maxed out on space in the system, it won't actually save. It'll give you a specific message. We didn't figure this out until learning the hard way. When we died, got a game over, we just lost a lot of progress. Is the English version of this harder to get? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's not, well, it's not really harder to get per se. It's just more expensive. You know what I mean? Okay, there we go. That's the herb. So actually, the ring recharge that you can get from this lady, which is also $100, is in a different slot than it is in other versions. When I played this the other day, I accidentally charged my ring instead of buying an herb. I always want to buy an herb at the beginning because, you know, you're pretty underpowered in the beginning. Although you're not as underpowered in the beginning as you are in other versions. So while, you know, I'll still be at risk in the first cave we go to, it's not going to be as bad. Again, that's one of the great things about this compared to other versions is, like, you don't feel as, like, threatened in this game as you do in the other versions. Like, even when you level up in the other ones, it just feels like enemies can just wreck you in just a few hits. But in this one, you actually feel like your armor and your shield actually works. Like, this doesn't happen in other versions, but in this version, you can actually bump into enemies and they'll push you back a little bit, and you'll hear like a little ding sound, letting you know that your shield has basically absorbed the impact. That doesn't happen in other versions of the game, the other console versions of the game. So, yeah, there's lots of little things like that make this, I think, the best version to play gameplay-wise, and that's really important for Ys 3 because Ys 3 is a really shallow game, like supremely shallow. But here we go. The other thing is, one of the things that makes this stand out above the other versions is that the collision detection works pretty much 100% in this game. That was a huge problem in the Super Nintendo version, where you'd attack enemies and your sword would just go right through them. Like, you would see your sword touch them, and it wouldn't do anything. And that was extremely frustrating. In this version, it works all the time. And you don't have wonky-ass hitboxes either, like you do in the Super Nintendo version. Even the Genesis and Famicom versions had some issues with those. Not as many issues as the Super Famicom version, but they weren't perfect either. But in this version, man, they are spot on. And so it makes the game so much fun to play. Like, you feel like you're in control of what's happening now in this game. You don't get that feeling in the Super Famicom version. And sometimes it's a little iffy in the Mega Drive version, too, you know. It's way better than the Super Famicom version, but it's still not 100%, you know. But this is 100%. It's great. So we're just going to sit here and probably grind out to, I don't know, maybe 1,000 experience points. Will the crazy price of retro video games ever go down? I have no idea, Chris. Man, I really have no idea. Let me actually put the desktop audio on in case we get some alerts here. But yeah, I really have no idea, man. It's really hard to say. It's really hard to predict. I mean, a lot of us never would have predicted that prices would have gone up this far to begin with, you know? Then again, I think a lot of us never would have predicted something like YouTube gaming videos taking off either. I mean, when people started making retro game videos regularly, like, it was a very, very niche thing. And I really feel that's something that has had an effect on prices inadvertently. Retro gaming prices have actually kind of grown in conjunction with YouTube, you know, gaming video growth. You know, prices could potentially start going down and people start losing interest in this stuff, you know, be it videos and the games themselves, but I don't know. I don't know if I foresee that happening. You know, for me personally, just playing these old school games, this is normality for me now. And it, you know, it always was normality for me. I always had a mix of old school and modern. Like, I grew up with a lot of these games, so, like, I never stopped playing them. Now, you know, there would be periods where I wouldn't play as many, because maybe my attention would be, you know, focused on something else, maybe something slightly more modern, or, you know, retro for me spans many, many generations, many decades now, so I might focus on specific decades or specific generations, and just bounce all over the place. One thing that's nice about this one too is that enemies respawn relatively quickly. So one of my biggest complaints with the Mega Drive version is that you really had no way of controlling the spawns in that game, and so grinding could just take quite a while in that version, and it could really like drag on. But in this version, you know, we're almost at our, probably our third level already, just about. I think it's going to be 1,000 points, and then we're going to be able to progress on. Grinding here in the beginning, in the I mean, pretty much the other 3 versions we played, took forever. But, you know, this is just a really good example of how much better paced this version is over those other console ports. And look at that, I jump up, I hit the guys, it hits them, it's guaranteed, it's great. If I jumped up and tried to hit those, you know, those bees or whatever, or those wasps, you know, if there was other versions of the game, good chances are I would have missed. And again, you don't have that problem in this version, it's just so good. Hey Carlos, you haven't missed much, man, just me rambling. You've heard that some games have come down a bit, like Earthbound. Yeah, Panzer Dragoon Saga's always been on the rise, even since back in the day. I mean, Panzer Dragoon Saga was one of the earliest $100 games on the system, and then $150 games, and then $200 games, and then $300 and then $400 games. I actually had considered buying a copy for $400, you know, probably like 4 or 5 years ago. Because, like, it wasn't going down at all. And I was like, if I'm ever going to have this game, like, I'm going to have to pay the price. But now I've pretty much given up on that. There's no way I'm paying $500, $600, or $700. Even $400 was pretty ridiculous. But I was like, I don't know. It's either now or never. I went with never instead of now. But hopefully, you know, via things like the, you know, the Rhea and Phoebe, and eventually the Satiator or the Satiator, you know, you can just play it, you know, on an SD card via those means. And then I'll finally get to beat that game. I actually played it a little bit back in the day, but it, you know, I was like, my interest in shmups was increasing very, very strongly, you know, in the late 90s. With a lot of the Saturn imports and whatnot, and then some of the, you know, some of the Dreamcast shooters in, you know, 2000 and 2001. And so games like Panzer Dragoon Saga, while I owned them, I didn't play them that much. I never beat them. But my brother played them a lot, and one of my good friends that lived down the street played it a lot. And so I got to watch a lot of the game. And so I've always appreciated Panzer Dragoon Saga. And I've always wanted to try to take the time to actually go through it myself. But, you know, there's that whole acquiring an actual copy of it part that's, you know, kind of tricky these days. So I'm just not stressing it. Not a big deal. I've seen most of the game. I understand how it works. I've even loaded my brother's save file and just beat the game myself. You know, skipping pretty much the whole thing. Just going straight to the final boss and beating the final boss. And it's a great final boss, you know? Like, it's a good game. It's definitely a good game. Especially if you're a fan of the Panzer Dragoon series. I mean, that's one of the things about it, is just like Panzer Dragoon always had this feeling and had this sort of like subtle heart and soul to it that defined it, and that carried through to Panzer Dragoon Orta, and it makes for this very unique world and experience and whatnot. But yeah, I'll never own a copy unless it goes down in price, and that ain't happening. Alright, so what I'm going to do is actually just run over to the right and talk to a dude who's going to give us a key to go up to the warehouse in the top right. So if I was playing other versions of this game, I would just get annihilated by these guys, even right now. But look at this, like, I feel like I really have control over my attacks. Like, my sword is hitting 100% of the time. I am not missing. And if I don't hit, it's because I actually missed. Like, I need to get better, you know, that sort of thing. In other versions of the game, you'll completely whiff the enemy even though you actually touch them. It's really, really frustrating. It's especially frustrating with really difficult bosses. Like the final boss in the Super Nintendo version can just, you know, go eat a bag of dynamite that's you know, lit. It's just, it's bad. Carlos says Earthbound's at about 150 cart only? Really? How much, what's the highest it got cart only? Because I always thought it's $400 and $500 prices were like for complete copies, you know, with the strategy guide and everything. Yeah, the thing about eBay prices, though, that I always have to remind people about is, like, people can list something at whatever they want. Like, what matters more is if it actually sells. So I always try to tell people, and I do this myself, is if I'm ever going to look for games for sale and try to figure out a good price on it, I go, or I should say, a current going rate of it, I look at completed listings, actually sold items, the ones that appear in green. And then I compare those to what's currently available. I sort from price, lowest to highest, and I go from there, you know, and then I figure out an average in my head. Like, okay, what's going to be required of me to buy one of these? At either with moderate patience or even no patience. Maybe their buy it nows at a certain average that I'm okay with. But when someone lists, like, a Chrono Trigger for $3,000, like, I kind of roll my eyes. Like, I highly doubt they're actually selling for that price, you know? But yeah, there's a big difference between listing something for a really dumb price and it actually selling for a really dumb price. And when we talk about, you know, what things are actually going for, that's something really important to mention. Is I also hear this a lot, is, oh, this game's going for this crazy price. It's like, no, it's not going for this price. Going for means it's actually selling at that price. Sitting at that price for 5 years is not going for. It is sitting. It is rotting in someone's dirty old eShop. So But looking at what's actually sold is a good way of actually seeing what something, what kind of money will more likely than not be required to acquire something. So what I'm going to do is actually come back outside here and regain my health. But I think my next level up might be at 3,000. So if I really want... Yeah, actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go to 3K. Why not? Because this first boss is actually kind of tricky. What I like about the bosses in this game is... At least... I'd say at least about half of them you actually have to fight. Which is nice. In a lot of the other versions, there are so many bosses you don't really have to do anything to. You just... You get up, you whack them a couple times, and they die. Looks like Earthbound peaked at a little over 200 for cart only. Okay, so $150 cart only isn't that much lower in the grand scheme of things. So it's still pricey for cart only, but that's good to know. Yeah, I figured that like the $400 to $500 for that was for complete in-box copies. Yeah, because like I know yeah, never mind. Carlos, I don't think you bought either. I think you just went out and bought Rise of the Robots instead. And then weeps that night. Although I guess Super Nintendo Doom isn't that much better. Haha, just kidding, Carlos. I know you love that game. Yeah, we're just gonna go to 3,000. Like, I mean, look at this. We level up so much faster in this game. It's great. I'm not even using the power ring right now, by the way. Alright, so after this level up, we'll go ahead and go outside, get our health back. This music's so good, too. I love it. Although it's still not my favorite of the renditions. My favorite would be the Oath and Felghana versions. Those are just amazing. But myself personally, I lean more towards the actual hard rock and metal side of things. So, like, you know, less like synthy pads and keyboards and stuff like that. I mean, I like synthy pads and stuff, just not as much in, you know, a soundtrack like this. I really like the rock energy they have in Oath and Felghana. But this is still an awesome soundtrack. I love it. It was so cool to hear again when I played this on Twitch the other night. Have I played the Felghana version, Mr. Doctor? Yes, I have. Yeah. Not on my YouTube channel, but I will eventually. I definitely want to do that sometime in the hopefully near-ish future, probably after October. Because I always do, like, horror-themed games in October. But yeah, and I'll have to do a run on Twitch to see how long it'll take me, because it's a much longer game than these are. It's also a little bit harder, if you ask me. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and actually equip our power ring and our herb. So you hit the run button to use your herb. And now I'm going to go ahead and save it. So our power ring here will use up our ring energy. It uses it up at a moderate rate. And let's see what we have to do here. So generally what I do is try to let this guy sort of teleport in front of me. If you get close to him, his projectiles will hit you. And you basically just kind of got to dodge his swords. It's like, look at this. I actually have to try to follow patterns. If this was the Super Nintendo or Mega Drive versions, I would just walk up to him and smash him, and he'd be dead instantly. Yeah, we actually died at him quite a few times the other day. But I also didn't get to 3,000 experience points. I didn't get that last level up, so that also put me at a disadvantage the other day. Alright, so the other thing we do is we get this sword. And then we can go back down and fight another boss. Oops. Actually, let's go ahead and equip that. What am I doing? Oh, there you go. You have to hit select. Interesting. Alright, now we can save it again. See, what I should probably do here is... Let's see. What do I need next? 4,000. 4,000. Jeez. Man, these guys really want me to just sit here and grind, don't they? Like, it just goes by so quickly. I mean, I have no problem with that, really, personally. One other cool feature in this game is you can actually jump off staircases in this game. You can't do that in the other versions. So again, this version has a lot of little subtleties that make it a lot more fun to play than the other ports that we've streamed so far. The last port that we have to stream that I have direct access to is the PlayStation 2 remake. And I can't wait to go through that. Like, that looks like an awesome game. So we will probably be doing that sometime soon. I know people are probably getting burnt out with this, but man, I just want to do it while like it feels fresh to me, you know? I don't want to wait months and months before I tackle these. I just want to knock them all out. Plus right now I'm really interested in seeing all the differences firsthand. I'm not, you know, just checking out some guy's, you know, maybe secondhand opinion on some forum. Like, it's like, okay, I'm noticing the differences myself, and that's always really satisfying to do. It's one of the things that is satisfying about playing various different versions of the same game, for me personally. Chris, the Mega Man 11 demo, I have not, and I don't really plan on it. I'm just gonna buy the game when it comes out, because I saw the trailers, and the trailer looked good to me, so... So yeah, it's what, October... Is it October 30th, or was it like October 20th? I don't remember. It's sometime late October it comes out. So I just plan on picking it up when it comes out. Alright, come on. This isn't going quite as fast as the last one. I feel like a lot of these, like, red birds aren't appearing as frequently as they were. Let's come back this way. Hey, Ronnie. Yeah, the red birds actually help me a lot. There we go. Yeah, that's why it wasn't taking in. That's why it was taking longer. Is these guys weren't really respawning that quickly. Oh, October 2nd, really? Okay, cool. Dude, that's not even... That's only a few weeks away. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, I'm actually looking forward to it. I mean, it like I said, I saw the trailers for it, and you know, the main levels themselves just looked kind of average, but what kind of, you know, what kind of grabbed me were the boss fights. Like, the boss fights actually looked like, you know, they'd require some semblance of skill. So, I mean, it looks legit. I like it. Alright, just in case, let's go ahead and just, you know, refill our health. Yeah, me too, Ronnie. I'll be curious as well. Absolutely. I mean, we haven't really gotten hit by a hurricane here in several years. Like, you know, really actually feeling it. I think it was October or November 2012 when Brandon and I moved out here. You know, we got hit by that one hurricane. Alright, level up. See, what I could do is go back to town and, you know, upgrade my armor and shield and whatnot. But I don't really feel it's necessary. Yeah, it definitely, it hit us, Ronnie. Now, it didn't hit us as hard as whatever that hurricane was back in... Dude, it was like 2003 or something like that. That was an interesting night. Okay, let's just use the power ring. Nice. See, I actually leveled up more this time than I did last time, so I did a lot more damage to that guy. But even, like, if you're a high level, you still have to follow the pattern. Hey D, welcome back, and Crestline. Well, I tried scheduling it like a day in advance so you guys would know it's coming up. Check your subscription feeds more often, people. or turn on those notifications. But yeah, I scheduled it yesterday. Yeah, so we're basically streaming tonight because I can't stream Thursday night. I've got some things coming up this weekend that's going to require me to flip my sleep schedule. And Thursday is going to be the day where I do that. And so by the time my normal stream would roll around, I'll just be dead. So I figured I'd go ahead and just stream today. Realistically, I could have streamed Thursday morning instead of Tuesday morning. But instead, I'm going to post my Saturday Doom archive on Thursday. So if you guys want to see that archive, that'll be there posted Thursday. Alright. Alright, so we're pretty much done with the first area now. Now we're going to go to the ruins and then the fire cavern. Or whatever it's called. Alright, so let's buy. Can we afford that? We can. And we can't afford that. Can we afford this? We cannot. That's lame. That's okay. Alright, so we will equip our next set of armor. And what I'll do is I'll use some of this money to buy some other things. Oh, I got something stuck in my throat. Okay, that's the fairy necklace. Fortunately, the fairy necklace actually revives you in this version, unlike the Super Nintendo one. That was one of the worst design choices I had seen. Especially for how awful that final boss was in that version. Okay, yeah, so we got the mirror and the amulets. Great. The amulet is what we really need for certain parts. We're probably not going to use it until the final boss, but I could use it at other boss fights if I really wanted to. Alright, so this is the shield ring. This actually comes, you know, in handy quite a bit. You know, the power ring is great for just, you know, tearing apart enemies and bosses pretty quickly, but sometimes you're better off just, you know, having the shield ring. Yeah, I understand why they used the PC Engine sound chip to do the music on these sections. Because they wanted to have all the, you know, the conversations voice acted, and that has to be streamed from the CD. So, it's kind of hard to play the normal Red Book audio music with the voice acting at the same time, without them being embedded together in the same track. And then getting that pieced together and flowing right is more trouble than it's worth, so... It's been running okay. It's still not reading CDRs very well, but it's reading original discs just fine. And the RGB mod is looking great too, which is nice. Yeah, I just got it back in the mail for, you know, from repair, you know, last Friday or so. Actually, I think it was Thursday, but I didn't get to using it until Friday. Because my Thursday stream ended up going 12 hours. That was a long stream. Yeah, one of the biggest missed opportunities with this game is just how like the backgrounds scroll, and even like the foregrounds can scroll choppy too. It's weird because like some foregrounds and backgrounds actually scroll really, really smooth at very, very select moments in the game, and we were trying to figure it out on Twitch when we were playing this, and we couldn't figure out why it was doing that. But the reason I say it's a shame is because the actual movement speed of Adol, your character, is actually very smooth. Like, he scrolls along just fine. So it just would have been so much nicer if the whole thing was smooth scrolling as well. We're probably just going to grind out here for a little bit. I'm guessing 5,000 is our next one, and then it'll be 10,000 after that, I believe. Nope, not 5,000. I guess it's 10,000 already. No, 6,000. Okay. Yeah, 10,000 is the next one. So we'll go to 10,000 and then we'll just progress on. Huh, that was weird. Guy didn't spawn. There he is. Welcome back. Whoa, there's two of them. Not what I was expecting. Alright, let's go ahead and save that. Alright, let's go ahead and actually progress. We need 2,000 more experience points. But I really don't feel like as at danger as I would be in other versions of the game. Alright, so one thing this version does is, you know, about halfway through each area, it loads up the next area. A couple people were questioning that on my Twitch stream, but a lot of, you know, CD-based games from this era did that. Alright, level up. Now it's gonna be 15. I might just... I don't know. I was gonna say I might just try to level up here, but... because I think leveling up in the fire cave will go a little bit slower. Alright, next shield. Yeah, if you guys are seeing Ys 3 for the first time right now, if you haven't watched my other streams, then I will reiterate that this is a really, really simplistic game. So it is not really that tough to get into. You will really never get lost in this game. You really shouldn't get lost in this game, at least. Alright, this is going to push us out to the fire cave. We're going to get basically booted into it.
我々の頭上に侵入者がいるようだ。君はティグレイの採石場にいた剣士だな。あの時私は言ったはずだ。二度と私の前に姿を現すなとね。一緒に来てもらおうか。北は灼熱の溶岩が流れている。あそこから生きて戻った者は未だにいる。なぜ私の名を。そうか、エレナと会ったのか。だがこれは私の生き方だ。
Yeah, one thing I was thinking about too when I was playing this is like, man, the Japanese must be able to read really fast because that's not me skipping through that text. The game just does it automatically. You can't skip through the text in this game. Yes, the end boss fight is way better in this version, yeah. For one, it's mainly just about dodging projectiles, which is good. Two, the fairy necklace does work, yep. We're gonna go ahead and use our herb. And we're gonna get another one. Hey, hey, Zark Mew. How are you doing today? Oops. Ah, crap. I accidentally used my herb. I knew that was going to happen. So I equipped the shield ring, so he's not doing a whole lot of damage to me. Well, that was nice. All right. Yeah, that's the only place in the game you can just keep grabbing herbs over and over again. Which, it's actually kind of nice they did that, because I think this is the only place in the game where you're basically at a point of no return. You can't get back out of here. You have to push forward. Hey, thank you, Carlos. Yeah, this version is very solid, Dark Mew. I wasn't thinking it was going to be solid when I came into this a couple of days ago. But I left the experience enjoying it the most of all the other versions I played. It just plays the best, you know? Like, the graphics are hard, you know, they take a little while to get used to. But the actual swordplay and whatnot just feels so much better. The bug in this version where the time ring does nothing. I have not, because I have not even used the time ring once. It's a ring that I don't find to be super useful. Because, like, I'd rather just use the shield ring or the power ring. So yeah, no, I haven't seen that bug, just because I've never even used the time ring in this version. Come to think of it, I don't think I used the time ring in any of the other versions I played in this East 3 binge that I've been doing over the last month and a half. Hey, Noah Douglas, welcome back. Yeah, the music in this version is great. Hey, CM Retro, what's going on, man? Welcome back. Okay, right on, man. Tinker away. We're, I'd say we're probably, I don't know if I'd classify this as about the halfway point in the game. I think we're probably about not quite halfway through the game. But we're making pretty good progress, actually, all things considered. CM Retro is a lurker. Would you hurry up and leave, please? I have demons to slay. Thank you. No, leave. Other way. Keep walking. Thank you. Time to go kill a flying beast. Why do they always fly? No, I think it's because the other ports kind of suck. After going through all the other ports, like, this one feels the best, and this one is one that, like, very few people have actually played, you know? That's my guess. Is most people have had access to the Super Nintendo version, which... Well, let's just say it's got its own set of issues, you know? I'm gonna go ahead and use this, actually. But yeah, I have a lot of fun with this version. I'm really glad I, finally have a working duo again, so I can play it. Like, if this was the Super Nintendo version, like, half of my attacks here wouldn't be doing anything. They would just be going right through the guy, and it's just extremely frustrating. And there's not really any, like, sound feedback in the Super Nintendo one either. Like, when you hit in this, you actually hear that you're connecting. You know, there are a lot of, like, subtleties in this version that weren't replicated great in other versions. Yeah, I mean, I'm nostalgic for the SNES one too, but after playing through it a couple weeks ago, man, it was... Whoo! Man, that version was supremely frustrating. And I didn't expect it to be, you know? All of its technical issues really stuck out like a sore thumb. But yeah, of all the ones I played, this is by far the most balanced version, and I think this is like a legitimately good game. Whereas the other versions have so many small, minor issues that, like, they're almost good games, but not quite. Retro Gaming Arts? No, I sent it to Keith Courage on the PCFX forums. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. The Genesis version is actually pretty solid, but it still has some minor issues with, like, collision detection and stuff like that not working, especially on, like, the final boss. But yeah, this one is just like good fun. Yeah, like, it flows a lot faster. You're not sitting around grinding forever like you are in other versions. Favorite Castlevania character? I have no idea, Rob. I don't really care that much, honestly. I mean, they're just characters in video games. I mean, if I had to pick one, I don't know, I'd probably have to say Simon, because I grew up with Simon, you know? Simon was the first, you know, protagonist. Oh yeah, no, the upgrade's great, man. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I expected it to be great, you know. I actually had the system modded a couple years ago, but the guy that did the mod just did such a poor job it never worked. It was a free mod, don't mind you, like you know, don't mind me. Or holy crap, I can't talk. It was a free mod, mind you. You know, I paid for the board and shipping and whatnot, but my friend did it for free, but man, he did not do a good job. But also, he did a cap kit replacement, apparently did a poor job of that as well. And so this guy I sent it to a few weeks back, you know, he basically had to fix all that. Fortunately, it was easy for him to do that, and it didn't really cost me much. So that was nice. But, just a friendly reminder to everybody out there, don't send your consoles to friends to get repaired for free unless you know they are really, really good at what they do. It might be free, but it could end up being much more of a headache than you'll ever want. Oops, wrong way. Alright, so we're going to go back into the mine. I think that's what's going to happen here. And then we'll end up going to the mountain. And then we'll go to Valestein Castle. And then we'll go to the final place. You know, the game's not super long, you know. Once you get into it, it progresses pretty quickly. Yeah, the Famicom version is actually pretty solid for what it is. Yeah, I enjoyed that one, definitely. He was angry. Yeah, apparently, I believe what he said was, you know, there was leakage from the previous caps, and the previous guy didn't really clean that up, and he said that was actually affecting my my CD drive. So, a couple years ago, I got my system back from my friend, who had replaced the caps and did the RGB mod. CD drive still didn't work. So I replaced the lens, and then I tried adjusting the potentiometers on the console, and I failed. We couldn't get it working. But yeah, the guy I sent it to last week, or a few weeks ago, sorry. Yeah, he said, you know, there's still a lot of corrosion from the previous caps, and, you know, he had to clean that up. Once he did that, like, the disk drive started working fine. So it was ultimately a cap issue. It was ultimately a capacitor issue, and it was just the previous guy did, you know, he didn't do a good enough job, basically. Hey, no problem, Coin. Thanks for the feedback. I love it when I hear stuff like that, so thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for checking out, you know, the streams, be it live or on the archive, you know. Hopefully it allows you to pass some time. I know for a lot of people it's background noise, so I kind of treat these live streams sort of as like a, you know, podcast in a way, you know. I'm not always super focused on these, you know, really depends, but yeah, hopefully it's something to keep you guys interested. Hey, Avenue Pad, what's going on? Welcome back. Yeah, that's a good point, Carlos. I agree. Man, I love this music. I really want to play Oath and Felghana though, because that soundtrack is so driving. It's amazing. Easily one of my favorite video game soundtracks ever. All right, let's go ahead and quick save it. So these guys will actually do some damage to you, so you have to be a little careful here. Since you've been playing the Castlevania games, I will be looking forward to your playthroughs, and it'll help you make make me a better player. Your Batman Returns playthrough in Sega CD made you a better player. Hell yeah. Hey, CM Retro, I am. It's just, it's taken me forever, man. I'm so busy with recording the Let's Plays and stuff like that. Making progress at those videos takes ages for me. But yes, I plan on, the next one I plan on doing is PlayStation shmups. So yeah. It's just a matter of when I can find the time and motivation to do it. It's a lot of time because I have to play every single game. And I have to play every single game more than just a couple minutes. And then, you know, figure out where I really want to rank everything. PlayStation shmups is going to be harder because it has a whole lot less bad shooters on the system. It's actually got a pretty solid shmup library in North America. Ooh. I just landed right on top of that guy. Actually, we'll be fine. Yeah, we'll be fine. This boss actually isn't that difficult. Einhander wins. I'm thinking about putting Einhander at number 1. I wanted to do R-Type Delta, but I think Einhander has greater appeal. Better variety in the gameplay. But yeah, it's either between that or R-Type Delta for me personally. Yeah, no, we're actually, when I do this shmups list, it's just going to be North American shmups, so otherwise, I'll never get the video done. That, and I don't have a way of playing a lot of those Japanese shooters, because I have to actually buy them. So every shmup I have on PlayStation is an actual copy, like an actual, you know, legit copy of it. Although half of them are Japanese, half of them are North American. But they're all games that came out in North America. Thanks, Coin. Yeah, I did not expect to go that long, but it was fun. We had a lot of chat. You know, a lot of people were enjoying it. We had good viewership, and I was having fun. That's the most important thing, you know. It's a lot easier for me to do long streams when I'm having a good time with it, so... What do you mean, Rob? D-Force is the best game ever made. Everybody should go out and buy that right now. And then subject their best friends to it. D-Force, what a turd. D-Force is like the ultimate troll. Yeah, I like Earth Defense Force too. You know, I've warmed up to a little bit, especially since we got to the final boss on that stream. That was the first time I did that. Let's see... Yeah, I still don't have the heal ring. Actually, it's not really going to matter that much. So this is a good place to grind out. We actually ended up maxing out our levels here the other night when I played this on Twitch. Oh! I was not expecting that to happen. I can't remember where I saved it. We had to go through all that voice acting again. Oops. Well, okay. Not a big deal. Oh, nice, man. I might have to check out that video then, because basically what I did was I just used the homing shot the whole way through. And on the final boss, we switched over to the grenade shot. We actually tried experimenting with some other weapons, but we just found that they were a lot of them were really weak. And so we just stuck with the homing shot. It just seemed like the way to go. But yeah, knowing what weapons to, you know, to use when and where, I could see that, you know, going a long way with Earth Defense Force. Yeah, yeah, the Japanese consoles in general always had a lot more shmups in Japan than they did North America. PS1 and Saturn in particular. But PS1 still got a good amount in North America. I mean, it's got, I think, 19. Maybe 20 if you count, you know, goofy hybrids like Galaga, Destination Earth. Or, you know, you count, like, some single-screen shmups like the Space Invaders remake. But I'm not going to be talking about those in that video, most likely. One thing I do wish they did with Earth Defense Force, though, is towards the end of the game, there were a lot of, like, shifting backgrounds and cool backgrounds to look at. But the first half of the game, if not more, is just, like, it's the same. What you see in the very beginning of the level is what you see at the very end of the level. It's just the same thing for the whole stage. And, like, I felt that was a missed opportunity in that game. Like, some of the backgrounds towards the end of the game look really good. Yep, yeah, Working Designs published a few good ones over here. Mainly Raystorm and Thunder Force 5. And Ray Crisis. Alright, let's go ahead and save it. We're just going to end up using our herb, too. Not a big deal. Well, I'm not getting as much gold because I'm not having to kill as many enemies. That's pretty much why. Yeah, so I'm not grinding out nearly as long in this one as I was in other versions. Like, I had to grind a long time in those ones. Let's just go ahead and use the herb. There we go, level up. Alright, so this part is actually a little weird compared to some of the other versions. Like, you have to get, like, all the way up here to make that. It's kind of crazy, actually. Hey, Spring, how's it going? Alright, I don't think I can save here. Yeah, I have to go back up to save. Spring, do you ever have anything nice to say? Or is it all just me, 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 I'm Spring, yay! Let's kill ourselves. Let's go ahead and use our shield ring, actually. Yeah, so just like the Mega Drive version, if you touch that orange ball, it'll teleport you back. Alright, let's just die. Actually, let's just reload our game. Very tired, as nearly always. Right on. Me too, actually. I am relatively tired, but we're gonna... Oh, hey, look. That's right. I had that too. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this again. See, it would definitely help if I leveled up. It would definitely help. Yeah, one nice feature about this, and this was something that was also in the Super Nintendo one, is that, you know, when you get a game over, it reloads your game automatically, which is great. I wonder if I... Oh, I can just probably... Yeah. Huh, that's interesting. That one projectile was going upwards. Why was it going upwards? That's weird. Okay. Just a wee bit disorienting. Yeah, see, again, another one of the things I like about this version is I actually have to fight the bosses. This is true for the later bosses in the game, too. Although, what would help me right now is if I leveled up again. We might have to actually do that. Very nice, man. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to actually like the highlight Let's Play, but if anything, I figured they would enjoy seeing the absurdity of the game. I actually don't think it's as bad as, like, people make it out to be, but I see why people don't like it at all. Like, it makes sense. But it has significant historical importance. You know, from what I read, I think it was it and one other game that were basically like the first of their kind in Japan, and Highlight was actually the one that actually took off and was successful. And thus, many other, you know, action RPGs in Japan were influenced by it. You know, even the East series had very similar gameplay systems. I do not, Ronnie. I used it. That might be the better strategy, actually. Or not. So I feel like this lower projectile comes out 3, 4, 5, and that's it. Okay. You have to watch out for that lower projectile. That's what I was missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Two, 3, 5. Alright, switch back to our power ring. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was missing. Yeah, see, just about every boss in this game has a discernible pattern. And you really need to follow that. You need to figure it out. Spring, it's just a thing you do, man. Like, I on Discord, I post stuff, and you're just like, I don't like this genre. I'm like, oh, okay, you don't have to tell us about it. Like, I'm gonna post stuff anyway. This is my place to update on my channel. And when I hear stuff like, I don't like this or I don't like that, it just reeks of, like, selfish behavior, if you ask me, that no one wants to hear. So I apologize, Spring. I apologize. But, yeah. But if you insist, there you go, Spring. In East 3, it uses a similar health system recovery system as Highlight. Yeah, exactly. Well, the first East especially. Yeah. I mean, with the East series, the East books 1 and 2, and it's got the same run and bump gameplay. But yeah, you know, there's this little old saying that says, if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say it. Don't say it at all. But I also look at that as, you know, not just things that are, like, derogatory or whatever, but when, like, you know, one thing that's always kind of, like, grinding my gears is when people are just like, I don't like this or I don't like that, when, like, your opinion wasn't really requested. You know, there's like, hey man, what's your opinion on this thing? Okay, I don't like it. Great. Cool. Answered my question. But when I'm just like, hey guys, I'm gonna stream, and then someone goes, well, I don't like this genre, and they're like, okay, thanks Buzzkill. You know, that's what I'm getting at. You know, you pick and choose your words at specific moments. That's basically an avenue pad. Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, that's what I try to preach here, and that's kind of how I try to go about things as well. I might come off as whiny on my channel, but this is my channel. Part of the point of me doing this channel is for me to whine about things. Although I don't whine about things here as much as I used to. I think I've relaxed a bit. Maybe not. I don't know. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and buy our next sword. Well, sometimes that's fun too, CM Retro. Like, there are a lot of games I watch streamers play that I don't really care for, but it's fun watching them play the game. You know what I mean? And sometimes I actually learn something too, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe... Did I not buy the sword? I didn't buy the sword. Why did I not buy the sword? I think, you know what? Maybe I want to give that game a try. You know? Or, like, I'll be like, huh, well, I have more respect for that. I might not play real-time strategy games or something like that, but I might watch someone play it and be like, oh, that looks cool. Why is he not letting me... Okay, dude, you're really confusing me right now. What am I doing wrong? Did I already buy it? I don't think I... Maybe I did buy it. I might have bought it. I think that might actually be the third sword. Let's see. Okay, well, we'll get that then. Did I buy that? I don't remember buying that sword, though. And I definitely don't remember finding it. Okay, so we have to go back and... Yeah, no, exactly, CM Retro. I agree, yeah. I mean, a lot of, like, stream watching for me, when I do watch people's streams, is, you know, just hanging out and chatting with the streamer. No, it's cool, Spring. Google Schadenfreude. Yeah, Rob. Yeah, playing PS1 games through the PS2 with component cables, they look really fantastic, yeah. Yeah, one of the perks of the other versions is you can just skip through all the text. You can skip through the text relatively quickly, but in this one you're stuck listening to the voice acting. On the other hand, it's a good time to go take a bathroom break or grab a drink or something like that. One thing I noticed is different about this version, though, is that when you're inside the homes, it actually has a foreground layer, which the other versions don't have. Like, you can see how the mayor is actually behind that chair. In the other versions, he'd be in front of everything. So that's a nice touch. The HD Retrovision cables, they're like, what, $40 or $50 or whatever? For Super Nintendo or Genesis? You just gotta wait for them to come back in stock. They're gonna make more. Yeah, the thing about HD Retrovision is that you know, it seems like they're a really small operation, so, you know, they don't just crank these things out every day, unfortunately. Fortunately for me, I don't have a reason to get the cables for Genesis or Super Nintendo. But I did get a set of their PS3 and PS2 cables, because with PS3, you can't really record with the HDMI out unless you've got a converter box that strips the HD copy protection. So I got the component cable so I could stream PS3. Okay, so this is probably we're gonna level up for the last time. We're just gonna grind out here. Yeah, like a good example of that, Ronnie, is the Analog Super NT. Oh yeah, and look, here, smooth scrolling. Enjoy it, guys. It's one of the only times in the entire game you'll get to experience it. I have no idea why this place is smooth, but all the others are not. Yeah, what's nice about these guys, they all give you like 100 experience points and 100 gold. Oh, I died. I should probably use my ring energy, because I'm actually at a lower level now than I was last time I came here. Last time I came here, I was actually maxed out. But yeah, the Analog Super NT, I was looking at them like early August. And, because I had some funds free up, basically. And I was like, maybe I should actually get this, because my video quality would look a lot nicer. And I want my Super Nintendo to my Super Nintendo footage to look as good as, like, my Genesis and my PC Engine footage, you know? But they were like, oh, sorry, not shipping till late September. I was like, what? And I just passed on the order. I was like, ugh, man. See ya, Avenue Pad. Maybe because this cave only scrolls horizontally, where there are a lot of other areas that only scroll horizontally too. Like the first cave. Alright, so we're basically, yeah, we're actually at a much lower level than I was last time. We're gonna have to use our shield ring. I don't watch Console Wars, but they're done? Why are they done? Were they actually fighting with each other? That's weird, because, like, their channel had grown quite a bit over the last couple years, so I don't know why you'd stop. But yeah, they seem like a really fun channel. Again, I didn't really watch them that much, but I popped in for a few episodes. I was like, okay, I can see why they're getting popular. That's cool. I can see why people like them. Let's go ahead and use that herb. Hey, Kitsu! What's going on? Welcome back. We're just running through East 3 for like the 8th time. This actually is the 8th time. Holy crap. So every version of this game I've played through twice on stream. Once on Twitch and once on YouTube. You know, which is why I'm familiar with the playthroughs whenever I do these on YouTube, because I've already played through them once on Twitch. Lord help me. I spent like 30 hours playing this damn game between all the different platforms and whatnot. Actually, I think it's more than that now. And it's going to be even more once we tackle the PS2 remake. So in the Mega Drive version, these bugs up top, they'll just constantly drop these tiny little bugs. And they give you a ton of experience in gold. But in this version, they come out so slow, it's just not even worth, like, dealing with. You're better off just running back and forth and killing these guys. And then, you know, smashing the occasional bug as it appears. Should probably go ahead and save it. There is a super highlight. Yeah, it's on the Genesis. I watched the Pro Jared review on it, and I could see myself going through that, but, you know, like the first highlight, it's going to require, like, some practice. I'm going to have a walkthrough up. But, no, I could definitely see myself doing that, for sure. One of my friends over on Twitch, Lucha Gem, he goes by Diamond Long Plays here on YouTube. He actually donated a copy of the Saturn version, Virtual Highlight, which is, you know, kind of infamous. It's a Saturn era remake of the original Highlight. So it has a lot of similar locations as the very first Highlight. But the world is randomized every time you play it, which is interesting. And it runs at like 5 frames a second, at best. So, but because he basically sent that into the show, I definitely want to try to play through that sometime. Probably not until after October. And basically starting next week, I have to start practicing for like October playthroughs. So I have a few playthroughs I want to do in October that are a little bit longer. I don't know how I'm gonna handle those. We'll see. Here we go. Looks like I still have my ring equipped. Alright, so we're going back to the town. And we're gonna get all our health back, buy another herb. Try to buy whatever armor's left over. And then we'll come back, we'll grind out to our final level, which is gonna be 65,535 experience points, I believe. Oh yeah, no, I definitely have better games on my list, Spring. I mean, ultimately, it just depends on what I get to. I mean, I don't mind the games being bad per se, so long as like they provide some kind of like, you know, moderate challenge for me. If they don't provide any challenge, then they're not that much fun for me to play. Which is why, like, I was planning on doing a dedicated Kirby's Adventure Let's Play. But then I played through it on Twitch a few weeks back, and I was like, oh, I'm bored to tears. It's a great game, but I need something that's, like, gonna test me at least a little bit, you know? Alright, so that's pretty much that. But the highlight games will test me, you know? And since I played through the first one is probably the worst in the series, you know, all things considered. I mean, Virtual Highlight, you could look at that as the worst for certain reasons, but I've seen people play through it, and honestly, it looks the most interesting, in a way. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll scream in utter pain as I play that. But, you know, when I do go through it, that'll be a live stream on YouTube. That won't be a Let's Play. Because I have a feeling that'll take a few hours to go through. But, Is the lack of challenge why I don't like RTS games? I don't know if it's necessarily a lack of challenge in those games. It's just, I guess the pacing for me just doesn't feel that good. And I don't really have the time to, like, learn them. I do know that, you know, to get the most out of them, you really have to learn, you know, the best strategies. You have to know, like, you know, the best units to use, when and where, yada, yada, yada. I got into StarCraft multiplayer for, you know, about a year back in the day, and I loved it. But that was pretty much the only one. And, you know, if I wasn't in high school and had all the time in the world and, you know, worked very little back then, I probably wouldn't have gotten into it. But as far as Bloodstained, yeah, I did a Let's Play on that a few months ago. A couple weeks after it came out, actually. And I think I might go through it again in October, but try to play through, like, the various different modes, and just make it, like, a, you know, a 3 or 4 hour stream. And I'll try to do the boss rush and stuff like that. Hey, Nate! A rare morning stream. That's right, man. Yeah, so for anyone just popping in and is kind of curious why I'm streaming right now, I've got to flip my sleep schedule for something that I've got going on this weekend, and I plan on doing that Thursday. Normally, Thursday is when I do my weekly stream. Realistically, I could have streamed this on Thursday, but I decided to go ahead and just do it today. And the Doom archive I was going to post today, I'm just going to post on Thursday. And we're about to max out our character. You know, I also bought these things. I should probably equip them. What a concept. Alright, we just leveled up. If I really wanted to, I could just try to grind out for cash here, but I'm not going to worry about it. We don't need to get the fairy necklace until the very end. Hey, Anson. Well, thanks for that feedback. I appreciate it. I'm glad you enjoy the streams. Let's see. Yeah, and I don't blame you, Nate. I mean, you stream all the time on YouTube, so it makes sense that you're always on YouTube. Let's see. I have not played the Genesis version of Master of Monsters, no. You don't think you'll actually buy it? I mean, Bloodstained's only $10. I highly, highly recommend it. I mean, I think I ran through that game like 10 times, no joke. Definitely got my money's worth. But yeah, I mean, if you really don't want to, yep, I've got that Let's Play, so... Alright, so we're at the 2-hour mark. We'll probably have this beat by the 3-hour mark. Yes, I'd say we're probably about 2/3 of the way through the game. We'd be a little bit farther, but there's a lot of voice acting we have to sit through. Yeah, so this is our 4th sword. Yeah, I can't believe I bought that 3rd sword early and I just forgot about it. Alright, we have a couple of boss fights. Nothing special here. These are both easy bosses. Just in case. Oops, I just saved over my previous game. Not a big deal. Because they're both going to be at the exact same spot anyway by the time this playthrough is over. Yeah, well, I mean, Bloodstained, I thought the level designs were pretty simplistic. They weren't anywhere near as difficult as the original Castlevania games. But where the game excels is, you know, the amount of characters you get and the different playstyles each one has. And the soundtrack, to me, was amazing. I thought the music was awesome. And you've got multiple different endings and stuff like that. Then you unlock Boss Rush, and it feels like a classic Castlevania game, very much so. Probably can't even beat it. You'd be surprised, man. So, you get up to 4 characters. Each one has their own health bar. You don't lose a life until all 4 characters die. Like, it's really generous with lives. And you get a lot of extra lives, too. So, I mean, I did a 1 credit clear on my first playthrough, and I had a ton of lives left over. You know, the more hardcore players out there, I've seen them complain that the game is too easy. And, I guess, for us, some of us that have been playing Castlevania since the late 80s, like, yeah, maybe it is too easy, but I thought it was still a ton of fun. And I was still challenged here and there. There were some pits I fell into, and, some of the later bosses in the game gave me some trouble. Actually, a lot of the bosses, some of the bosses gave me trouble, because I had to actually learn the patterns. The bosses are very patternistic. You gotta learn them. But they're not too hard to learn. I mean, they're pretty well choreographed, which is nice. Oh, if you can beat Castlevania 1, you'll definitely be able to beat Bloodstained. You'll definitely be able to beat it. Now, just remember, in Bloodstained, you go through the game once, you'll get a bunch of characters, and then after you beat the game, you'll unlock Nightmare Mode, which is... I wouldn't say it's really a harder version of the game, but your main character is gone, and he basically ends up being like the true final boss when you go through it again on that mode. It's pretty cool. And then, after each level, you have the choice to take take the character there as a teammate, or you can kill them, or you can just walk right past them. If you kill them, you'll gain their powers for your main character, and if you walk past them, you'll basically be playing what's like the uber hard mode of the game, where you play as your main character, no extra characters to play with, and you get no special abilities that you would get normally. It's great, man. Tons of replay value. Well, this stream will only last till, about an hour, Spring. So if you want to chill out here and then go play it, that's an option too. But yeah, anyone out there that was curious about Bloodstained, I highly recommend it. I mean, not many games that high of quality are $10 these days. I'm surprised they weren't charging like 20 for it. But they were probably able to charge less because, it was a Kickstarter goal, so, they got the money from Kickstarter as well. I don't know. I'm just theorizing. Do a genocide run? So at the end of each level, the first 3 levels, basically the boss you fight turns into, like, one of your potential comrades. So if you beat Genocide Run, like, killing all those guys, you can. Yeah. Yeah, and there are,
計画を知ったのです。
1, 2, 3, 4 different endings, I think?
おそらくバレ
Or there are 5 endings in the game. I think it's 4 endings in the game.
私の復讐はまさにそれなの。
And then I think you get another one for...
自分が滅
Well, I don't remember if I got an ending for Boss Rush.
あの上司
But the Boss Rush was pretty tough.
の屈辱であるに違いない。
But yeah, sometime in October I'll try to go through that game again, but I'll try to do every ending so you guys can see that.
アドル、助けに来てやったぜ。
Might get a little repetitious because, you know, you're going to see a lot of the same stuff, but what's great is that the levels have multiple paths to them, and some paths can only be accessed, you know, with certain characters, which is pretty cool.
このフェルガナ地方を世界一の大きな町にしたいってよく俺に話してくれたじゃない。
But yeah, there are a lot of classic Castlevania tropes, like your main character, one of his main weapons is basically a holy water knockoff.
以上の剣から手を引くんだ。
Miriam, the chick that's going to star in the main Ritual of the Night game, she basically fights with a long-range whip, so she feels most like the classic Belmonts. And she's got some axe attacks that will go up into the air, like the classic axe in Castlevania. Yeah, it's good stuff.
師匠には世話になりました。
The vampire guy you get will he could turn into bats, or not bats, but he could turn into a bat and fly.
またこの小屋を さあ、アドル。
And then one of the other guys you get, he's really weak short range, but he's got the most powerful magic in the game. Alright, so Valestein Castle is going to be next. In this place, we're pretty much just going to skip everybody because these enemies can be really dangerous.
バレスタイン城の奴らが現れて、この町の人間を人質として連れて行ったんだ。なんだって？
The Mega Amp, I do not. I'm sorry.
バレスタイン城へみんな
Yeah, if anybody else out there knows, definitely post something.
師匠からお前に渡してくれって言われてたんだ。
Alright, so we just got the healing ring. And we've got pretty much everything, although I do need to buy another amulet. Yeah, that's the mirror. This one should be the amulet. There we go. Okay, cool. And I'm not going to bother with the ring power, because 4 more enemies will do that. Every time you kill an enemy, you get 1 ring point back, or 1 ring energy point back.
ついに幕外や上司の本格的な脅しが始まったよ。彫像を渡さなければこの町の人間を殺すというのだ。アドルフ、ここまでよく頑張ってくれた。だが私はこの町の責任者としてこれ以上犠牲者を出すわけにはいかないのだ。おとなしく奴らに彫像を渡そう。そしてガルバランを倒すチャンスを待とう。
I plan on doing a Let's Play of Haunted Castle eventually. Absolutely. I actually, I bought a PS4 a few months ago, and, I bought the Arcade Archives version of it, so, I just need to find, like, a route I'm comfortable with. I need to learn the patterns and figure out how to get through it consistently again. And then once that happens, I'll do a Let's Play on it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it this October. Like, the plan was to do it for October. Maybe I could still do it. Maybe I could still make it happen, but I'm not sure. Because the last time I played through it, we beat the game, but I had a lot of trouble with it. We played it for a couple hours. Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as things like the Mega Amp, I figured you could probably find them on certain forums. I know the Shmups forum is one where sometimes people, you know, will sell hardware. If you go to the hardware section, sometimes people will have stuff there. Yeah, assembler forums, places like that as well. Might not hurt to check places like Sega 16 as well. Alright, so those guys we can kill in one hit, but these bigger silver ones we want to just avoid. And just like in other versions of the game, you don't want to get hit by these traps. It'll block it, Kitsu. Yeah, I've got it set to block links. Let's go ahead and save it. Alright, this is a shield. Alright, so this boss is actually kind of interesting. So you want to bait his attack high, and to do that, you'll notice that he swings his mace around twice. You kind of want to jump up when it's kind of like in the 11 or 12 o'clock position, then he'll attack high. So we need to do that. One, two. Still going low. Go high. One, two. Why are you not going high? One, two. One, two. Okay, this is interesting. He's not following the pattern that he was before. Wow, we had this, like, on lockdown the other day when I was playing this on Twitch. That's weird. And he was doing it at first, too. Oops. No, it doesn't upset me. No, you're fine, Kitsu. Oh, I'm just saying YouTube will block the links. So if you post a full link, it'll block it. So yeah, I mean, if you do stuff like that, it doesn't bother me. Blocking links is more so for the safety of everybody else. Because when you have links enabled, what'll happen is you'll get trolls and bad actors in a chat spamming random stuff, taking you to nefarious websites and whatnot. So... let's try this again. See, that's weird, man. See, like that. You bait him high. Maybe you have to just jump twice. Maybe that's it. I think that's it, because I was jumping twice on Twitch. Trying to save my ring energy too, because the next boss is going to be a bit of a pain. Listen to that shredding. Hell yeah. I don't even think I've heard this far into the boss tune yet. That was the first time I've heard that riff. Okay, awesome. Let's actually go ahead and save it. Alright, we'll come down here and get some armor. Alright, let's do the power ring. So this guy's got a long-range projectile that does a lot of damage. Oh! He was off screen. It didn't do any damage because he was off screen. I'm an idiot, man. One thing that is kind of I still haven't gotten used to in this version is that you know, it doesn't have like the 3 or 4 button layout like, you know, on the Super Nintendo or Genesis, you know. And so sometimes my brain will just like stall. It'll be like, what am I supposed to push? I'm supposed to push the run button, but I have to like reach all the way over for it. To when I'm in like tense, about to die situations, my brain just stops functioning. Yeah, I was gonna use the amulet. The amulet would have killed him. Alright. Making progress. So the boss coming up here is a lot like in the Super Nintendo version. Pretty simple boss, but you actually have to follow the pattern, otherwise you'll die. Yeah, this is the boss. Let's do the shield ring. Alright. Not too hard. Alright, getting close to 50k as well. 50k is going to get us our fairy bracelet. Or necklace. I love Wise. Well, I've got the means to play most of the versions of this game, so I've been wanting to go through them all, and as I've been going through them all, I've been wanting to also cover them on YouTube while they're all fresh in my mind. So it's interesting for me because I get to see all the differences, you know, back to back, and I think it's interesting for some people out there watching as well. All right, so that was the protection ring. That'll make us invincible. Yeah, so I actually wasn't planning on doing the Duo, well, not Duo version, but the PC Engine CD version. But in the last few weeks, I ended up having my Turbo Duo sent out for repair. And I ended up acquiring a copy of this game off eBay. It was really cheap. So I was like, hell yeah, we're gonna stream it on YouTube. And here we are now. And we're gonna do one more as well. We're gonna do the PS2 remake. Although I'm not sure when exactly that's gonna happen. I sent it to a, I can give you his, Facebook page, Kitsu. Yeah, that goes for anybody else out there as well that has any issues with any of their TurboGrafx or PC Engine hardware. That guy's been around in the scene for a very long time, and he does very good work. I mean, I even opened up my Duo just to check it out. I was like, oh yeah, that looks nice. I was like, that looks way better than like the free job I had done. Had a friend do a couple years ago. Oh, you don't have Facebook. Well, he's on the PC Engine FX forums, Kitsu. He goes by Keith Courage over there. Yeah, I probably should have saved it. I didn't save it. But this boss actually isn't too bad, actually. That actually sounded redundant. My bad. Alright, so we're just gonna do the, I mean, if I really wanted to, I could do the protection ring. We're just gonna do the power ring. So he does this lightning attack. You can jump in and attack him twice. And then walk away. And then do it again. But you gotta watch out for this moonerang. This moon boomerang. Yeah, I actually like this guy more in this version than I do the other versions we played. Like, I actually have to walk around and dodge. It's not super easy. Keeps me on my toes, you know? There we go. Just make a burner account. Oof. Just barely over 50,000. I think we might actually have enough money to get the necklace and another herb and the ring recharge.
ガーランドの言葉を信じたばかりにこんなことに。ガルバランの残党であるガーランドは最初からこの城を利用しようと。
Let's see, Kitsu. He might even have a just like an external email account you can reach out to him at.
の魔物がこの城へなだれ込んできた。このままでは再び暗黒時代が訪れる。それを避ける方法はただ一つ。誰かが4つの彫像を持ってガルバラン島へ奴を封印しに行くしかない。君にこの石像を渡しておく。これはガルバラン島の入り口を開くためのものだ。わしは皆に迷惑をかけた。この償いはさせてもらうつもりだ。
無事でよかった。
ガルバランの復活を阻止しようとする者はこうなるのだ。アドル、よく見るがいい。この女を死なせたくなければ、4つの彫像を持ってガルバラン島へ来るのだ。
Kitsu wouldn't survive without an eBay account. I don't think any of us would. When it comes to retro gaming. Alright. Yeah, so we just need an herb, and then a ring recharge, and then we need the necklace. So we have just enough money to do all that. So that actually worked out perfectly. Alright, there we go. Alright, perfect.
さんあるはずだ。
エドガーさん、俺からもお願いするよ。アドルを行かせてやってくれ。アドルは単なる旅人じゃない、冒険家なんだ。生きて帰れるかどうかわからなくても行かなくちゃならない時があるんだよ。なあエドガーさん、ここは一つアドルの力を信じようじゃないか。
アドル君、これを持って行きたまえ。ガルバラン島で必要になるはずだ。
Okay. Alright, last stretch, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and save it. We're also going to need to equip this item right here. Otherwise, it's pitch black. Now, one nice feature about this one that's not in the Mega Drive version is you can actually see these skeletons in the dark. So we need to walk over here, and then that activates this elevator. And I think what we're going to do is actually go down once more. There we go. And we're going to try to play it relatively safe here. And we're going to fall over to the left. And just... And we have another boss fight. So what I want to do is actually try to do this normally, because I want to save my ring energy for the final boss. So it's this guy again. Except now he's a little bit harder.
ここから先に行かせるわけにはいかない。さあ行くぞ。
Oh, come on. That was bad. Just like in other versions, he doesn't give you any health back. And this is basically going to put us out at the final boss. But we'll just kind of deal with it as is. Because I have an herb that'll give me all my health back, and then the fairy necklace that'll give me all of my health back as well. So I think we'll be fine. I've always liked that effect on this this stairwell. It's pretty cool. They replicated it really well in just about all the home versions of the game that I've played.
したまえ。
Hey, Timo, how's it going, man?
こうなったのも私の責任だ。君がわざわざ死にに行く必要はない。
アドル、よく来た。貴様のその勇気だけは褒めてやる。
ガルバラン、エレナはどこだ。
これを見るがいい。
エレナはこの事件とは関係ない。私が身代わりになってやる。エレナを離せ。
私はアドルの持っている彫像に用があるのだ。お前のような奴に用はない。兄弟共に生き絶えるのもよかろう。アドル、私に歯向かうとどうなるかよく見るがいい。
ガルバラン、私は貴様を倒す。死んでいった数多くの仲間のために。
兄さん、もうやめて。なぜ争おうとするの。どうして私たちは殺し合わなくちゃならないの。ガルバランだって、私たち人間だって意志の通じ合える生き物でしょ。
Can't produce a good stream. Aren't you like streaming from a potato?
だが現実は違う。あいつをやらなければこっちがやられるんだ。ガルバランを倒さなければ我々人間が壊滅するかもしれないんで。
別れの挨拶が済んだようだな。二人にはそろそろ死んでもらおうか。
Nothing should be wrong. Well, I mean, it all depends, man. Streaming's very resource intensive. I know we talked about this before, but I always forget what kind of computer you have. Like, what the specs are.
彫像を持ってプレートに乗るのだ。
Potatoes. Oh, you're using your actual computer. Okay. You have to preheat the oven. Well, it also depends on what kind of settings you're using, Timu. Just because you have a new computer doesn't mean you're going to be able to put it on, like, OBS's high settings or anything like that. Like, I have, just to pause this for a second. So, I'm on a very modern system, too, that's really beefy. But in OBS... crap, I can't actually get to it right now because I'm streaming. But I'm on, like, the low end of OBS's, like, encoding settings. Alright, so this is the final boss. He's very projectile heavy. It's mainly just about dodging and just attacking him. You don't have to wait for a weak point in this version. Oh, that was the fairy bracelet. Okay. I hope it didn't actually accidentally use my herb. It didn't. Okay, cool. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just use my protection ring. This makes us invincible. We switch over to the power ring. We used our Brosia serum? Brosia serum? go ahead and use that herb. And what we'll do is finish him off with the amulet. Ooh, not finish him off. I wonder if it doesn't allow you to finish him off with the amulet in this one. Like in the Genesis one, you can actually get the final hit with the amulet. Best music track in the entire series. Yeah, I mean, it's even easier than the Genesis final boss, to be honest with you, Carlos. Yeah, as predicted, that took us about 3 hours to do. That wasn't too bad. I was predicting about 3 hours. Yeah, the Super Nintendo one was brutal, Carlos. It was a little too brutal, honestly. One of the big things about the Super Nintendo version is it has a major difficulty spike at the end. This version has like a really smooth ramp up. And the final boss isn't as hard as he is in other versions. So it doesn't have that huge spike at the end. I did something you would never be able to. You'd be able to do it, man, if you knew the strategy. I mean, you've got a ring that makes you invincible. So you use that. And then you have a bracelet, or a necklace, sorry, I keep calling it a bracelet, but you have a necklace that gives you all your health back when you die. I don't know, you just gotta have a strategy, you know? But thanks for the GGs and congrats, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. The 4th version of Ys 3 I've played on my channel in the last month and a half. We got this PS2 version bad boy to fire up next. Well, not on this stream, but sometime very soon. You know we're used to 8 hours or more. I wish, man. I'd love to stay up longer, but I gotta get to sleep. I gotta work. So if you hold down the first turbo button, Adol will hop about this high just over and over and over again. It's kind of funny. Hippity hop, hippity hop, hippity hop. Never got a notification. Oh, that sucks, man. You need never mind. I don't want to sound like a shill. Yeah, Yeah, I mentioned it earlier in the stream. I was like, you know, worst comes to worst, check your subscription feed. Because I always try to schedule these out at least a day in advance if I can. So it should have popped up in everyone's subscription feed at the very least. But yeah, like if you got notifications on and they don't work, that's pretty frustrating. Because some people rely on those. Well, that's true too, Dark Mew, yeah. Well, since we're on the ending, I'll go ahead and get the crop right again. Actually, it doesn't... Nah, we're fine. Well, the only way I'm going to do that, Ronnie, is if I get my Duo working with CDRs. Right now, it's still not really working 100% with CDRs. Ah, but Street Fighter Kitsu was a HuCard game, not CD. Yeah, so we need to crack the system open and adjust the pot, see if we can get it working better with my CDRs. So right now I can really only play real discs 100%. Which at the moment only gives me three games to choose from. Including these 3. I actually did buy East Books 1 and 2 on eBay this week, so hopefully I'll get it next week. It's the Japanese version too, but it was like $10. Concerned that I know that? Street Fighter is not exactly something new, Kitsu. And I haven't just started playing Turbo Duo or TurboGrafx today. I remember in high school, one of my friends was like a pervert. He was like, dude, Street Fighter, you need to play that. It's just a mediocre fighting game, that's all it is. Yeah, great soundtrack in this game. I love it. Yeah, so I mean, like I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I think this is, of the home console ports, this is the most fun one to play. Like, the biggest thing is that the collision detection just works in this version, and the grinding isn't as severe. The game feels more balanced, and it progresses like at a brisker pace, which is nice. It's funny you say that, Ronnie. Is I did get Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball when it first came out on the original Xbox. And I felt dirty playing it. It was like the weirdest thing. I ended up beating the game though, and it was actually kind of fun. I was working at Funcoland at the time, and at Funcoland you could return like brand new games. No, actually you couldn't really return brand new games. No, could you? No, I think we just had a perk as employees. So we just would return them. No, I thought they had a policy back there where you could return even brand new games. But I basically returned it like a week later because Panzer Dragoon Orta came out. So instead of buying Orta, I just returned Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball and got Panzer Dragoon instead. Strip Fighter, Timu, not Street Fighter. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, this version is, I think this version is actually a fairly solid game. Like, I do think Ys 3 is kind of like, on other systems, it kind of leans more towards the mediocre side of things, but because like they all falter in the gameplay department a little bit. But this one like actually feels like legitimately good when you play it. Outside this one, I would definitely say the Mega Drive version is the next best pick. But that one does have a pretty steep difficulty spike at the end too, which can get frustrating. And it's got, you know, the way grinding's implemented is just not done very well, so that can be a little frustrating. But I'd say that's the next best version. Famicom is actually probably the next one after that, believe it or not. And then Super Nintendo is last. I hate to say that, because the Super Nintendo one looks the best. The colors really pop in that version, but man, the collision detection is horrible in that game. It's absolutely atrocious. And then the fairy necklace doesn't give you any health back. It's completely redundant. And the final boss is just... It's ridiculous. So... trailer for the new Samurai Spirits, I have not, but I've heard about it. Hey, see ya, Carlos? Yeah, just a reminder, guys, I won't be doing a stream this Thursday. I won't be doing a YouTube stream this Thursday anyway. So, and I'm still not sure if I'm going to do one on Saturday. We'll see. That's going to be up in the air. But next week we'll be back to our, you know, regular scheduled time. So next week we'll be back at Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Well, see, Nintendo Hard, Ronnie, means you just have to get good. Ys 3 Super Nintendo Hard means there is no such thing as getting good. The game's broken, and you are only going to get frustrated. See, Nintendo hard games, quote unquote, at least still work. They still functionally work. But E3 and Super Nintendo does not functionally work. It is it's got some major issues. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I guess I'm gonna roll out here. That was E3 for the PC Engine CD, and yeah, I mean, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I have a lot of fun playing this version, so it was nice running through it again, second time in 2 days actually, and you know, I could totally see myself running through this version again sometime soon. Not on YouTube, but you know, just you know, on my own time or on Twitch or something like that. Soundtrack's fantastic too, so I kind of see why it's you know, a well recommended game on, you know, in the PC Engine like enthusiast community, but it's not so highly recommended on some of the other systems. But again, if you can't play it on PC Engine, I do still think like the Mega Drive version is probably the next best one to play. So for anyone that hasn't played E3 but wants to give it a try, you know, if you don't have access to a PCE CD, then definitely play the Mega Drive version. The Mega Drive version is actually very, very similar to this one. It's got the exact same kind of, you know, start or continue intro at the very beginning of the game, which is nice. It's got the exact same progression. It's got the same types of items. So, like, you know, the fairy necklace does what it's supposed to in that one. And a lot of the boss fights are very, very similar as well. Whereas the Super Nintendo one, some of the boss fights, you know, they took liberties with them as well. So that was kind of weird too. But yeah, fun game. So hopefully the archive to this will be up in a couple hours. I don't know if I'm still going to be up to be able to publish it early in the day. So again, I have to go to bed in probably about an hour, and then I'll wake up, you know, 6 or 7 hours from then, and then I'll try to publish it then. But if it's ready, like right before I go to bed, I'll make sure it goes live so you guys can watch the archive if you missed any of the stream or you just want to go back and you need that background noise again. So, but yeah, thanks for hanging out, guys. You know, I appreciate all your support, and again, sorry for having to change the schedule with the Thursday stream this week, but you know, it is what it is. I've just got, when I got to flip my sleep schedule, I've got to sort of plan that out in advance. And so Thursday is the day I'm going to flip my schedule, and that's going to be really, really hard on my body and my mind. So I'm, you know, I decided to just not stream Thursday. We just streamed this morning. So I knew this wasn't going to take me long to go through. I knew I can come home from work and stream it, and we would be perfectly fine. And yeah, it took us about 3 hours, so as expected. So, but alrighty, guys. I don't see anything else out there in chats. So, you know, thanks for the heads up. If you're still out there lurking, feel free to you know, give the stream the old thumbs up. Helps my streams and videos get recommended in search results and stuff like that. So it helps my channel grow, basically. You know, everyone that's still out there, thanks for hanging out. And if I don't see you Saturday, I will see you on the next Let's Play posted next Sunday, and then I will see you next Thursday, next week at our as we return to our regularly scheduled time. So, yeah, no, this is a great version, gameplay wise, absolutely. Yeah, it's the best playing version, honestly. Like it doesn't really have any problems with the collision detection and stuff like that. That's a big sticking point in some of the other versions, unfortunately. So, but yeah, fun version to play. I highly recommend it. So, but alrighty, guys, take it easy, and well, hopefully I'll see you soon.